Hello everyone, today I'll show you how to fight exactly like FNCF winner Malibuca, who is arguably one of the smartest fighters in the game. What moves he uses to finish the fight fast, without losing HP, and much more. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. In this clip you can see Malibuca trying to third party fight and quickly taking down the first opponent. Now it's essentially a 1v1, so Malibuca boxes up to ensure he doesn't get tagged. Then he proceeds to try to tag his opponent, but sees him boxing up. So, essentially Malibuca is smashing his defensive play, and is playing defensively now. He rewalls his shotgun because he knows the importance of having 3 ammo in your gatekeeper this season. And he's just waiting for his opponent to make a mistake while playing defensively and keeping his pace. Now, this is something really common for Malibuca, as he's the type of player to evaluate his opponent before the fight starts and play off his mistakes. This is a reactive playstyle and you should really implement it into your game. He just sitting in the box and waiting for his medallion to kill him up, really abusing it. He's on the right hand peak, tries to go for a play, and when he sees that it's not working, he just stops. Now, his opponent immediately makes a mistake, which is to drop down on Malibuca's level. Malibuca completely ignores him and pops his fizz. And when the opponent is only one layer above him, Malibuca quickly takes high ground off him while getting a lot of damage in the process. Now here Malibuca has the peak disadvantage, which is really important, because now he's ensuring that he is the first person who is going to shoot in this fight, and he quickly gets the kill. In this clip you can see Malibuca pushing the forecast tower, and this is something that you should really try to do in your own games, because there's most likely going to be a person on the forecast tower that you can freely W key and, if you're good enough, kill. He tries to open the fight by getting a quick beam on his opponent, but unfortunately he can't connect any of the shots, so he goes to plan B, which is trying to close the distance between the players, and he is successful in that. He tries to jump in the player's box but sees that it's not going to work, so he goes on this really nice peek. That's a right hand peek from Malibuca, which allows him to get a really good view of his opponent and get a really nice shot, but unfortunately for him, the opponent reacts in time, so Malibuca can't really get any damage on him. He proceeds to get this really nice side jump shot. Now this shot is really good, and this is a mechanic that you should really try to implement in your own gameplay, since it's really useful for getting more HP advantage and chip damage on your opponents. Then after that he proceeds to break his opponent's builds, because he sees that it's early game and that his opponent probably doesn't have much more mass than him, and he probably even has less mass than him because he created so much boxes. So yeah, he just breaks out his builds and continues to smack his counts and everything, and he plays with the right angles. I want you to notice that he's always protected by his or by his opponent's builds, and that he's just waiting and holding his shotgun out. Now, in a second, he hears that he's getting third-partied, so he knows that he has to finish the fight fast, if he doesn't want to get third-partied and fight the losing battle. So what he does is really smart, he jumps in and hits his shot. Because of that, he wins the fight and gets a really nice kill on his opponent. One of the things that make Malibuca such a great fighter are his abilities to apply pressure on his opponents, especially when they're low HP. Now you can see him starting this fight by getting high ground and flipping this ramp. This is really smart, because this allows him to get a natural right hand peek and start the fight with a lot of HP advantage. Now his opponent is forced to play defensively, and I'll give it to him. He does a really good job of that, and he's escaping most of Malibuca's pressure. But unfortunately for him, he's playing Malibuca. So you can't really win when he has a 100 HP advantage. Malibuca misses most of his shots. I guess his aim is really not that good. I'm obviously joking. You can notice Malibuca abusing the Nitro a lot, and this is something that you should really try to do in your own games as well, because the Nitro is one of the most, no, actually probably the most broken item that we've had in Fortnite for jumping in a box, and you should really try to adapt to the meta when it's still here, and just abuse it as much as you can. Now, here, Malibuca does a really nice thing, which is to pressure this wall from a completely safe angle, and basically, if his opponent decides to make a 50-50 edit, Malibuca can run to the right and make this a pick for himself, or just place a cone if he wants to prevent getting tagged. Unfortunately though, his opponent is a complete zero pinger, so Malibuca just can't get any wows. He abuses the Nitro again, and you can see him phasing builds into his opponent's box. This is something that you should really try to do in your own games as well, because it makes your opponents make more space, and it just puts more pressure on them. His opponent is making a lot of boxes, but then he suddenly realizes that he doesn't really have more mats, so he's forced to drop down. Malibuca is jumping in with a Nitro again, and I want you to notice how he always has his eyes on the opponent and his crosshair is exactly on his body. This is really huge for in-game fighting, because if you have your crosser on your opponent, then essentially if he makes 50-50 edit, you can always get a shot back on him, or even get more damage on him. And for example, a lot of players would be looking at the ground, maybe to the left, and if someone decides to make a 50-50 edit, most of the times they'd get caught off guard and just lose a lot of HP. Malibuca jumping in with the Nitro again, and now suddenly the opponent is forced back into his old builds, because he used all of his mats, while Malibuca still has 80 builds left. Now, here, Malibuca actually makes a pretty big mistake, which is to push these blocks without placing his sidewalls. This allows his opponent, who is desperate to get some damage because he has no more builds, to make really nice play, which is to just get a nice timing on Malibuca and 50-50. However, Malibuca, as I said, has amazing cross replacement, so he's able to get a huge amount of damage back while placing a wall, so he's completely protected. He boxes up and makes a lot of space, and that's something that you should really try to do as well. And pretends that he's killing. He sees that the opponent is not back enough, so he cancels his heals and shoots him for a lot of damage again, which gets the opponent off him and trying to run away. Now, Malibuca has a medallion in this fight, which allows him to heal up to a lot of HP, so he just pranks his opponents, because in this situation his opponent can't really heal, while Malibuca is passively gaining shield because of his medallion. And now, the rest is simple. Malibuca gets the opponent's wall for the first time in this fight, and then makes really nice edit in which he can see the opponent's feet, but his opponent can't see him at all. He actually resets his wall, because his opponent is trying to get a nice angle on him, and stops his shot, and then makes an edit and gets the quick easy kill on his opponent. Another thing that makes Malibuca such a great fighter are his box fighting abilities. You can see him boxing on the lower side of the island, near where the loot is going to drop when the island is captured, and starting to replace his opponent's builds to capture the main space of the islands. Now, he actually makes a mistake here, not being aware of his opponent, and in the result he gets tagged for 80 HP. He backs off and starts healing, and I want you to notice that his opponent starts spraying him, and when he does so, Malibuca instantly expands out, so he can avoid getting jumped on, because he learns from his mistakes, and he remembers that his opponent is really likely to jump in his box, and straight at 50-50, and also that way he's ensuring that he can get his heals off. Now that Malibuca is max HP again, he goes back to his mission of replacing the enemy's walls. He gets his walls while securing more space on the island and having a 2x1 getting closer to the player. He starts smacking his wall, but he is very aware of the possibility of the opponent jumping in his box, because he learns from his player's previous moves. Because of that, his crosser is always on the enemy's head, and when the player tries to jump in, he's ready. You can see him instantly resetting his wall, which makes his opponent shoot the wall. This is really smart, and now Malibuca can 50-50 because he knows that the opponent only has one shot in his shotgun, and he essentially can't one-pump him. In this clip you can see Malibuca trying to third-party fight and quickly taking out the first opponent. Now it's essentially a 1v1, so Malibuca boxes up to ensure he doesn't get tagged. Then he proceeds to try to tag his opponent, but sees him boxing up. So, essentially Malibuca is smashing his defensive play, and is playing defensively now. He rewalls his shotgun because he knows the importance of having 3 ammo in your gatekeeper this season. And he's just waiting for his opponent to make a mistake while playing defensively and keeping his space. Now, this is something really common for Malibuca, as he's the type of player to evaluate his opponent before the fight starts and play off his mistakes. This is a reactive playstyle and you should really implement it into your game. He just sitting in the box and waiting for his medallion to kill him up, really abusing it. He's on the right in peak, tries to go for a play, and when he sees that this is not working, he just stops. Now, his opponent immediately makes a mistake, which is to drop down on Malibuca's level. Malibuca completely ignores him and pops his fizz. And when the opponent is only one layer above him, Malibuca quickly takes high ground off him while getting a lot of damage in the process. Now here Malibuca has the peak disadvantage, which is really important, because now he's ensuring that he is the first person who is going to shoot in this fight, and he quickly gets the kill. Unfortunately, we've reached the end of the video, and as you probably see, I'm not that good at making outros, so just enjoy this Fortnite footage while I'm speaking. Anyways, if you'd like to get free coaching and content that's usually not available to the public, that is really gonna help you improve, then you should really consider joining my Discord server, link in the description. Like, subscribe, and get out of here.